How are you? It's been a little bit since last week. There's a lot of things that I want to talk to you about today. And in a few moments, I'm going to dive into where we've landed since last week's 2-2 portal. And there's been quite a bit of significant shifting that I've been experiencing. I wonder if you have been too. I want to thank every one of you who participated in the groups last week and that very beautiful, powerful energy. And also, I wanted to touch on really quick with the post I put in the community tab yesterday. That post was actually a recording I did 3 years ago on 2/26/21. And I was very deep in the early stages of my dark night of the soul. At the time that I recorded that, I had no idea that it was going to continue on for the next few years of my transformation. But I felt like it was important to share on a multitude of levels. One, I know many of you are in these processes, but I also wanted to acknowledge just how deep this planetary transformation is as we're learning to embody our highest self. This is not a one and done process. This isn't a week or a month. This is years of transformation and embodiment into more and more in the truth of who we are. And so embracing the journey and honoring wherever you are in whatever moment you are there, and just how incredibly important that is. At the time of that recording, I wasn't in a place to have a channel or to be able to hold space with any of you the way that I am now. But it was because I allowed myself to go through that transformation and learn how to embody in new and deeper ways and come up with ways that work for me so that I can work with the triggers that come up and that I'm aware of the levels of transformation that are still occurring to this day that has allowed me to be strong enough to do this. So I'm sharing that because I know that many of you are wanting to start your businesses or you are, and just trust the unfoldment of that, of your gifts, of your abilities, of the space that you're holding. And know that whatever you're going through, wherever you are on the journey, it's perfect and it's exactly where you're meant to be. And you are doing and experiencing exactly what's necessary for your growth, for your strength, for you to be able to sustain and maintain and to embody into those parts of your purpose. All right, loves. And yes, these are some new earrings that I got from a beautiful sister on the channel. And her Instagram is Love the Beauty Way. I'm going to drop that in the pinned comments. She does have gorgeous indigenous earrings and other gorgeous things that she shares. So I just wanted to share that real quick because it started to stand out to me. All right. Yes. All right. So we have lots going on. I really enjoyed doing the group work with all of you. I think that you enjoyed it as well. For those who participated, there was this bonus where everyone got both recordings. I've been wondering if the depth of my work if it would make sense to do two sessions. So there's definitely energies being worked on at the higher levels to know what's going to be the best way that I can support all of you. And I'm working on all of the time zone stuff as well. I will do my best. And of course, I appreciate your feedback. I think I'm going to put some surveys up in the community tab soon as well. But now back to the regularly scheduled message. It's 11:11 here where I am at this exact moment. So how perfect is that? And I'm going to just dive into where have we landed. I'm going to check in with the feminine collective and the masculine collective around where are we stabilizing now, because I don't know where you guys are or what you've experienced, but I felt like not only did I shift timelines, I felt like I shifted a whole dimension with those groups. I don't know for you guys who saw that group on Thursday, literally the entire grid in my neighborhood, directly only in my neighborhood, blew out about 30 minutes before the group. I literally had to run to a friend's house, get set up last minute, and we still were able to hold the group. But it felt exceedingly significant to the process, to this idea of moving from these 3D to 5D ways of being, understanding that we are still living on this planet. We are still living in our human form. And this is about bringing these energies and essences more fully into our physical body as we unravel and release the past trauma or dissociations or suffering. Okay, so I'm actually guided to really quick check in with where the feminine collective is at. And then, of course, we're going to check in with the masculines, but please note this for your internal energies as well. Okay, the feminines are showing. Okay, yeah, this makes sense to me. So the feminines are going through a deeper embodiment of their higher self in new ways. There's been this realization within the feminine systems that there was more dissociation or areas where maybe we weren't quite fully able to embody our higher self. And this is gorgeous because this means we brought up another layer where we realized we were ready to embody deeper into the truth of who we are. I'm sensing, and with this Four of Swords, that there's a deeper level of healing and nervous system upgrade that's happening so that we have the capability to embody more and more of our true energies. I have found that this energy of being able to have a healed or healing nervous system is a very, very important part to be able to embody more of our higher energies. I actually did back a few months ago do a Nourishing the Nervous System series, a 4-week series, and I do have those recordings available on my site for any of you that might be interested in receiving those recordings and meditations as well. It's also been hitting me that I feel like there's going to be a new one coming up soon because this nervous system support is so incredible and it's so powerful to be able to support the embodiment. With the chariot coming next, it feels like as the feminines go through this process, whatever we're in right now as the collective feminines of more deeply aligning, it's coming through more like whatever shift we just went through was actually, wow, I can feel this in my own system. Like this past week, something within these energies was more deeply aligning us with our true alignment, with the timeline, with the energy, with where we're meant to be, where our fate line, our destiny, our divine destiny is lining up for us. And as we allow ourselves to go through this process, through this reintegration, through this alignment with our true energies, with this taking the time and allowing the nervous system and the body and the emotions to heal and to rest and to realign, once this process has been held, once we receive and provide ourselves with the space and the grace to go through this process, it feels like there is going to be very swift movement forward. But this is a process that you cannot rush, okay, loves? And you don't want to. Because if we're in this process of trying to rush our integration and embodiment of our higher self or the healing of our nervous system, we're kind of missing the whole entire point. Okay, it's a process, it's a journey, and it's for a very good and beautiful reason. And it's like that mixture of finding the tempered balance between slow and steady wins the race, and then still allowing our future to move forward towards us quickly, and finding that middle ground of knowing when it's time to rest, and knowing when it's time to move forward swiftly, and knowing when it's time to just kind of chill somewhere in the middle, and knowing that through this healing process is where we build the strength and the muscle and the capacity to be able to navigate the depths and the strengths and the ability to hold these energies, okay, for ourselves, but also within our connections, okay? So this is where this expansion and this restoration of the masculine and feminine sacred essences within and on the planet, it's happening through these processes that we allow ourselves to transform through. Okay. And even though I said I recorded that 3 years ago, I'm still going through some levels of this. It's just that I've stabilized it enough to be able to navigate it in a way that I'm able to still show up for and with you. You see what I'm saying? But there was a time where I wasn't able to. And so I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that I had to be deep within my own healing processes in order to be able to get to this space where I can do it now. And I'm sharing that because I know that many of you are in that process. Honor it, loves. It's worth it. Okay. All right. Now let's check in with where our masculines are at, our internal masculines in the masculine sphere in our collective or connected with you. Let's see what we got. What would the masculines like to share? Where are they landing after this past week? Oh, they gave me 3 right out of the gate. Wow. Okay. So the masculines feel like they're being pulled onto shore. There's definitely quite a bit shaking out in this process of being pulled onto their highest timeline through these processes, kind of like being pulled ashore out of the storm. But there's still obviously also some healing and some shifting to happen for the masculines, where this is still feeling very much more energetic for the feminine side. This is feeling very physical world for the masculine side. So whether you're masculine or feminine, you could be experiencing both of these simultaneously, which is probably the case for most of you, where you're going through those internal energetic changes, but also experiencing the shifts in your day-to-day physical world life, depending on how that's playing out for you. Okay. But with this, it's like there's definitely this process of movement within the masculine collective where there's like this packing up, only taking what's needed for the future, what you know you want to take with you, kind of leaving behind the dark and the dismal and the suffering and the cloudiness and being pulled ashore. But there's clearly definitely some processing that's still in need of happening. It feels kind of like being pulled out of something, almost like it's coming across right at this moment, almost like a tower moment with these energies. But what's coming through with this Queen of Wands is like kind of like through the tower moment and through the crumbling of what's no longer in alignment. Deep inside, they're finding the truth, or we're finding the truth of what's been living inside all along. And it feels to me as you see the colors and the energies in these cards together, it's like once this discovery is made, there is going to be swift movement. But again, you just can't force these processes to move faster than they do. But it's okay because what I've learned is the more gently we drop into the healing processes, the releasing processes, the integration processes, the uncomfortable tower moment, life shifting processes. Once we allow ourselves to just understand this is an important part of the process that's actually getting us to where we want to be, that's actually what helps it move more quickly. When we're in resistance to these processes, that's when we feel the suffering and the sadness and the frustration at a level that isn't conducive to actually where we're wanting to go more swiftly. It's within the dropping into these processes and embracing them for the beauty that they actually end up ultimately providing, that we're able to, in the near future, move much more quickly because now we're actually free of the things that were weighing us down. But if we try to rush through these processes before we're ready, we just get pulled back into them. And that's kind of some of the old cycles that maybe some of us have seen in the past. But when we just drop into accepting that this is some of the things we have to work through, It actually allows the future and the things that we're wanting to appear quicker than if we're in resistance to the process to getting there. Okay. So we're still in this process, but it feels very, very much to me like we are on that track to where we're meant to be. Okay, so we're in this process. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, even if we're not exactly sure what it's going to perfectly look like. We know that the light is there. Okay, we're in the tunnel, we're in the process, we're going through these internal processes of healing and allowing our inner and outer worlds to start to truly reflect the energies and essences that we've been asking for. Okay, so I'm guided to pull one more final overall card from the True Love deck for both collectives, for all of us here, on what would be something positive or loving or a good message for us to focus on through these processes of transformation. Oh, beautiful. I think we got this a few weeks ago, the silver waterfall. And I'm not going to read from the book today. I'm just going to go on the energies and essences that I'm feeling. And it's like, even when you're in these integration, recalibration, tower moment, life-changing processes, bring yourself back to your heart and back to the remembrance of the dream that brought you here in the first place. What catalyzed or catapulted you into this healing process? What was within you? What inspired you to want to become that best version of yourself? What inspired you? What vision, what dream for yourself, for your life, for the planet inspired you to this action, to this willingness to drop into this level of work, allowing yourself to go through these transformations and allow yourself to remember the dream, the inspiration, and find ways to bring that into your life each and every day, even if it's in the smallest ways. Okay. Even when you're going through these difficult processes, how can you care for yourself? How can you nurture yourself? Even if it is one small, tiny thing that brings you some level of comfort that is in alignment with where you want to be. And what I mean by that is maybe in the old ways, we ran to some level of comfort that really just was a distraction and took us off of our path, right? We didn't want to feel the pain, so we would go numb out with something else or someone else. But what if we find a way to comfort ourselves within these processes, not by shutting them down, but not by freezing them out, but actually understanding that within these thawing and within facing it is actually how we get to the true dream, not the numbed out fake version, but the actual real live version, the embodied version of the life that we've been wanting. And actually enjoying the process of getting there because you're so excited that you're finally in alignment with the truth. You're finally allowing yourself to get through the dissociation and the frozen parts, and you are retrieving the heart of who you are in becoming the human being that you wanted to always be, that can actually feel worthy of receiving all of this gorgeousness into your life and sharing all the gorgeousness of who you are as appropriate into the world. All right, loves, we're going to leave it there. This feels really good. I hope that you're taking care of yourself through these processes. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you've been going through this past week or these past months. How are you feeling? For those of you that participated in the groups, if you want to share anything that's been happening or going on with you that you've been processing, I would love to hear from you. And I hope that you have a beautiful, gorgeous rest of your day, loves. Love you.